I am currently working at a big MNC that everyone dreams of joining. From my school days, I was fascinated by technology, when Zuckerberg launched Facebook or witnessing the rise of Google and Microsoft. So I decided to join the most renowned tech college after finishing school. Unlike Zuckerberg, I wasn't fortunate enough to go to Harvard, but I was happy and ready to work hard. My name is Daniel, and this is my story. College always seemed fun from a school perspective, where one has freedom, connect according to their will, no more school-to-home routine with loads of homework, and plenty of relationships. Everything seemed perfect, or should I say, some people portray that image because their businesses run on this ideology. Don't worry, it's normal to think that way. I used to think the same when I entered college on my first day. Since the college was far from home, I took a hostel room. I was also eager to experience the late-night work sessions and all the stories people tell about hostel life. But when I entered my room, I saw wine bottles, some cigarette butts, and the room smelled terrible. I could also see some female clothes on my bed. I tried to wake up the person sleeping on the other bed. "Oh, who's that now?" the sleeping boy spoke. Probably we're roommates," I said. He opened his eyes, smiled at me, and raised his hand for a handshake. "Jason," he said. "Daniel," I replied. "Don't worry about all this. You'll soon get used to it. By the way, which course?" he asked. "Engineering and technology. What about you?" He was pursuing a bachelor's in business administration, BBA. All this time I had taught about spending late nights developing something innovative, and now I was stuck with someone who didn't know anything of technology. In addition, he had all those habits which I didn't appreciate. I was disheartened. Somehow, I motivated myself and went to classes. On my way, I saw people yawning, looking sleepy, and disinterested as they walked to their respective classes. I wondered about this and continued to my class. When I returned, I had the same expression I had seen on other people's faces that morning, tired and disappointed. The teachers were explaining chemistry formulas and mathematical equations. This wasn't about technology. It was something entirely different. I checked my schedule to confirm I hadn't gone to the wrong classroom, but no, it was indeed my course. Sad and exhausted, I returned to my room, lay on my bed, and reflected on my day. My dream shattered like glass breaking into pieces. There were tears welling up inside me, and I fell into a deep sleep. I woke up the next morning and went to classes, once again. Now I was the same as the rest. The same bored, disinterested face going to classes. During one of the lectures, I decided this couldn't continue and things needed to change. The only way I could see forward was to join clubs and meet like-minded people. Hope rose inside me again, but there were requirements before one could enter a club. All interested students had to participate in a competition, and the people running the club would decide whom to accept. So I decided to fill out forms for 2 clubs that I found most related to technology. The Tech Stack Club had a competition where students were asked to present a website idea that could generate revenue and explain how to create it. We had to present our ideas one by one. The second club was trickier to crack because they would give you a problem, and you had to solve it spontaneously from a technological perspective. Students weren't allowed to hear others' answers and were judged based on their problem-solving approach and solution quality. Luckily, I was shortlisted for the first club. The second club had already accepted many students who had registered before me, so the remaining students, including myself, were given feedback but weren't selected. I spent time learning from peers and creating some awesome projects. Life was fun again, and hope was still alive. Meanwhile, my friendship grew with Bawe and Luna. I was waiting for the right time to propose a startup idea to them. It was during our mid-year when I shared my idea with him, but they both turned me down, saying they didn't have enough resources to take such risks and wanted to continue their studies to secure good placements. My heart shattered again. But I didn't give up. I decided to pursue internships and learn as much as possible so I could eventually start on my own. However, it was challenging for a first-year student to find work. I constantly tried but faced rejections until one shoe startup gave me an opportunity. Their schedule was demanding, making it difficult for me to manage both college and work, so I took a few weeks off from college.
Also, it was impossible to focus with the strange noises, conversations, and smells in my shared room, so I rented a separate room for myself. I went to their office, a small space with a compact team of probably 5 to 7 people. It was a shoe company that bought replicated designs and sold them through their website. I was responsible for maintaining their website under a team of 4 people. It was enjoyable, but the people there were resistant to new ideas. I suggested brand building, but they dismissed it, saying an intern should not interfere into such decisions. I completed my internship there and decided to start my own shoe startup. At that time, the craze for shoes was at its peak. From poor to rich, every person dreamed of wearing different kinds of shoes. So I pre-selected some shoe designs, edited them with my brand name, and uploaded them with pricing on my website. I shared my website link across various WhatsApp groups and events. Soon, I got my first order from my college, a pair of white sneakers. I ordered the shoes and had my brand name written on them. It was challenging to decide on a name, but I came up with Embrace in black lettering. It looked cool. I couriered the shoes to the customer's address. I was naturally worried about whether the customer would like the product, size issues, quality concerns, or unmet expectations. So I decided to make a routine feedback call. I was relieved to learn that the customer was satisfied and happy. That's when I realized this could work if executed properly. During the first few orders, I faced problems like damaged products and delayed deliveries. Late arrivals were understandable because the process was lengthy. First, a customer would order, then I would place the order, wait for the product to arrive, get the brand name printed, and finally ship it to the customer. So I decided to expand and open a physical store where customers could try on designs and purchase products immediately. Naturally, this required funding for rent, inventory, and additional staff to manage the website. I started searching online for investors or people interested in my business. After extensive searching, I found Steve. He wasn't someone who usually invested in businesses, but he liked my idea. He took some equity in exchange for mentoring me like a younger brother. He was instrumental in building my team and choosing a location for our store. Things went well for about a month, but then my college exams and projects approached. I had missed earlier exams, so it would be challenging to pass the finals directly. My focus shifted from business to studies. I barely passed my exams, but I was happy that I didn't fail. Otherwise, it would have become even harder to focus on the business. Despite our efforts, we were generating revenue, but still weren't profitable. My team engaged in door-to-door marketing, distributed pamphlets, and tried various strategies. Foot traffic increased, and gradually we began seeing repeat customers. Our startup showed consistent growth. This continued for a year. We had saved enough to rent a second store and expand when disaster struck. A fire broke out in the neighboring shop and spread to ours as well. Once again, I felt like a failure. Our products were destroyed. Fortunately, no one was injured, but after covering the costs for lost inventory and minor renovations to the shop, we didn't have a single penny left to open a new store. We had to reduce our staff salaries. Some employees left, but the rest didn't lose faith in me and agreed to work for reduced wages. Our investor Steve supported us financially, and we were blessed to have such a mentor with us. This situation continued for a year until we reached the same position we were in before the fire. With time, we expanded, opened new stores, and Embrace became a brand for people who couldn't afford high-priced shoes but wanted to wear trendy designs. As time passed, I grew my business, became successful, improved my family's financial condition, and now I work at an MNC. Shocked? Yes, I am currently 28 years old and work at an MNC where I learn something new every day while Embrace is run by my family. I'm happy to have such a supportive family.